today's video, let's talk about a frequency table. What is a frequency table? Is basically how often a certain thing happens. Now, let's say we have certain students in a classroom. These are the ages of all those students. Well, to figure out, set this up so it can look better for us, because right now it's just a bunch of ages. How about we set them up in order? Now, what is the lowest age that you see? I think the 5 is the lowest, right? So let's start with age 5. Now, how many 5-year-olds do we have? I count 1 5-year-old, 2 5-year-olds, and I think that's it, right? So there's 2 5-year-olds at that age. Well, let's go in order then. Are there any 6-year-olds? 6-year-olds, I see 1, and I think that's it. There's only 1 6-year-old. What about 7-year-olds? I see 1, 2, 3. Just 3. Oh, it's 4 7-year-olds. So 1, 2, 3, 4 7-year-olds. What about 8-year-olds? Any 8? No. So we write a 0. 9-year-olds, let's see. I see 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4 9-year-olds. Let's get rid of those. And finally, or not finally, there's a few more. 10-year-olds, I see 1. What about 11-year-olds? Nothing, nada. And finally, 12-year-olds, I see 2 of them. So now we organize our data so it's more easy on the eyes. Now, to make it even better for us, to see which one shows up more frequently, we can do what is called a dot plot. And I know you guys seen this in middle school and maybe even elementary, but we're going to write a number line basically talking about the ages. Well, at 5, how many did you see there? There was 2 of them, so we're going to do 2 dots. This is why it's called a dot plot. At 6, we just put 1 point because there was only 1. At 7, we do 4 dots because there was 4 7-year-old students. At 8, there's nothing. At 9 is another 4 right there. And at 10, there's 1. At 11, there's 0. And at 12, there's 2. All right, so we created our dot plot. Pretty simple. Now let's answer a few questions. What is the most frequent age? Now, this is a tricky question because there is not one age that shows the most. Because as you can tell, there's a tie between 7-year-olds and 9-year-olds. Had 9-year-olds had an extra one, yeah, 9-year-olds would be the best. Or in other words, the most common, not the best. The most frequent. Well, in this case, since there is a tie, we would say 7-year-olds and 9-year-olds. Correct. What is the range of the classroom? Well, what age group are we talking about? Right? So notice we did not start at 0. So we start at 5 all the way to 12. So that will be, how many years are we talking about? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years. So we're talking about a range of 7 years. If you guys don't remember the formula to do this, it's basically the big number minus the small number. In this case, our biggest age was a 12. We subtracted it by the lowest number, which was a 5. That gives us 7. Or just count the dots, the segments, if they are all in order. So it's a 7-year range. And finally, how many are older than 9? Look at the dot plot. Notice we want older, not 9, but older. So we have 1, 2, 3. So we have 3 students that are older than 9. And that's basically what they're going to ask you in the homework.